Hello gaming peeps, it's Neil from Gamerevolution. As I promised, this is the retro part of the site, but before we begin, I think we should bow down to a show that brought video games into the forefront on Channel 4 Primetime TV. It's Games Master. 5 seconds. Okay, now this is going to be my top 10 retro reviews of each console and the 10 games I've most enjoyed playing. It's been quite tough, I have to say, because quite a lot of consoles have got more than 10 games that you actually love, but this is my first one. So the first one to kick it off is probably one of my favourite consoles, although probably not a lot of people would have known or probably even played this actual console. It's going to be the 3DO, otherwise known as the Panasonic 3DO. So, we'll start off with number 10, and this is going to be Twisted, the game show. This game is really entertaining, especially if you've got a couple of people to play it. It's a bit like a big deluxe Monopoly, but it's got actual actors in there, and you have to do loads and loads of mini games. Kind of like Mario Party in that kind of way, but if you can imagine Mario Party with like kind of B-list actors, really you're playing, they're really quirky characters, and the idea is to get right to the end and win the money. But it's just the production, the way they do it is really good fun. You should definitely check it out. So we'll move swiftly on to number 9. This is D. Now D, everybody knows what D is. It's been around on the PC for a long time, but this game is quite a scary game. Puts you on the edge of the seat. It's one of those games where you're drawn into the plot and the story. It's quite slow paced. It's like Myst in that kind of element. Graphically really good. Some of the scenes are quite disturbing though, just to let you know. Yeah, it is a really good game. However, I would say if you're used to fast-paced games, then this probably isn't one for you. If you like stories, point-and-click type S games, this is the one for you. It's basically you play a detective and you've got to get all the way through solving crimes on the way, but it's kind of a unique game in the way that the story is kind of secondary in this game, whereas obviously the actual playing the game and the visuals of it and the sound that goes behind it, it's a bit like being thrust into a Clive Barker type horror film, a bit kind of Nightbreedy. So that's my number 9, and we'll move straight on to number 8. Number 8 is going to be Night Trap. Yes, we've seen it on other consoles, Mega CD, but it was always done better on the 3DO. Absolutely brilliant game. Basically, you set up your sort of trying to solve disappearances of scantily clad teenage girls in a house that possibly the dad or mum could be vampires, you're not exactly sure, and they got these people basically come and kidnap them. You've got 6 security cameras which you basically have to keep checking the rooms each time to see if one of them's been taken, and you actually click and they get the attackers. They're quite funny. They're in their black costumes with little grabbers. See if they get the girl, or they actually get captured by yourself in quite funny things, like they get blasted into a cupboard and down a chute and things like that. Really good soundtrack. It's not a game that's, you know, pick up the control, bash the buttons. It's a game to, you know, you have to keep your eye on all 6 screens, otherwise you're done. So that is my number 8, and this is number 7, and it's John Madden. Madden had been on the Mega Drive, and it was, I mean, every one of them is brilliant on the Mega Drive. Madden always scores highly anyway. There isn't much you can sort of revolutionise with Madden. It is NFL football, American football, but when it came on the 3DO, it was digitised. The sound was brilliant, the graphics were amazing on it, and the gameplay was basically the same as the Mega Drive really, but it was just the plain whole experience of it was absolutely A1. I mean, I think I remember picking this up from eBay, and I was like, well, I love the John Madden series. Had John Madden and NHL on the Mega Drive, the double pack, and I thought, well, I love these all the way through. Will this be any good? And it tops all of the John Maddens. Obviously, I'm excluding, you know, modern game Adams that are graphically good, but I mean, it's been a bit stale on the modern days anyway. This was back when people had played the Mega Drive, and the jump forward to the 3DO version was huge. Really, really good game. Obviously, if you're not into the sports games, then it's probably not for you, but you should still check it out. You know, I'm not a huge sports fan, but you know, the best I get was Channel 4 watching American football, but this actually made me want to come back and play it again and again. So that's my number 7, and down to number 6. And this is going to be Alone in the Dark. Again, it's a brilliant game. Has been on a few consoles. Later on other consoles, which I'm reviewing later, it let itself down a bit on the PlayStation 1 and onto PlayStation 2 a little bit. But on the 3DO, it was the story of it and the atmosphere especially. So hunting around for clues. It's a bit, if I could pigeonhole it, I would say it's a bit like a old school sort of detective game, very similar to Alan Wake in that kind of way. Obviously, Alan Wake's a really good game, but this is very similar. Check it out. It's not easy to find on the 3DO, I have to say. It took me a while to find it. There is a sequel which weren't as good. Go for the original, and just check it out. I'm not going to spoil too much of the plot. I'm just going through the games I enjoyed, because you know what it's like when someone spoils the end of a film. So I'm not going to spoil. I'll leave it to you to check it out. So we're on to number 5, and my number 5 is going to be Foes of Ali. Now, boxing games haven't received the greatest of accolades, and to be honest, they weren't brilliant on most of the consoles. The Mega Drive had the odd 1 and 2 which was playable, but before really Fight Night came out on PlayStation, with the great graphics when you knock someone out and the spray and the blood goes everywhere, we've not seen a decent boxing game. Foes of Ali it's really good boxing game. Graphics are amazing. You've got digitised sound, so the punches really felt like they were hurting. And it's got a good roster of people to try out. It's always good fun getting the super heavyweight and getting a lightweight and seeing how much damage you can do. That's good. But if you want a challenge, obviously fight your own weight or go higher and try and take them down, because it takes a lot of dodging and a technique to get a bigger guy down. Because I have played the reverse of that, i.e. the lightweight against the super heavyweight, and he only really needs probably 10 blows and he'll take you out completely. However, you have to really hammer and work him a long time to knock him down. Check it out, it's really good. The control system is amazing for us, really easy to play, and for that reason I loved it. So moving on to the pinnacle, number 4. This is going to be probably, I don't know whether anybody will actually know this game or agree with this, but it's Hell, a cyberpunk thriller. This is a point and click game, however it had digitalised actors in there, like Gracie Jones and various other people. It's basically you two detectives who were an agent. Basically, we share the world with Hell, and if you commit crime, you're sent to Hell, basically. And they're out as a task force. However, someone orders their execution. So then you have to go on the run and try and solve basically why you've been set up. It's really good, however, a warning. The imagery in there is really disturbing. And when I say disturbing, I mean really disturbing. For example of that, there's a situation where three demons are playing cards on a card table, and the woman in the background, her neck snaps, but it resets every 2 minutes, and so she just constantly in that sort of Groundhog Day moment. Really disturbing, but it's a brilliant game to play. There is a little warning as in that some of the puzzles are actually unsolvable. The makers know that, but they don't detract from the game at all. You can go through and those particular puzzles you don't have to solve. They're more side puzzles really, like a GTA side mission. So it won't stop you going on through the game. Check it out, really check it out. It's a really good game. The slow, methodical, atmospheric music's brilliant. The story is immense. Whoever came up with it's legendary in storytelling. So we'll move on to the top three, and here comes number 3. This is going to be a game that everybody knows the franchise of, and that's the Need for Speed. Now, I know they've changed, people moan, it's I like the street racing, some people moan, they like the more sort of cop chasing element of it, but Need for Speed on the 3DO, the originator, was superb. It was straight out racing with supercars, really good tracks. For the first time ever, one little graphical touch that people were quite amazed by, because they hadn't before. If you look closely on Need for Speed, the tyres of the car are actually touching the tarmac. Now, just to set that up, games beforehand on Mega Drive, SNES, any console before, there was a slight gap between the tyres and the surface. This one, they actually were touching the floor, and you could physically see it, which, that little touch is something that made it really good, because we'd never seen it before. And it sounds a silly touch, but it you know, if you're driving the car, do you float around the place or do you actually drive on the road? Exactly, you drive on the road. So, but the graphics were immense. The cars, not like a lot of Need for Speed games where the cars, a lot of them are samey. This Need for Speed game, the cars felt different. They had a superb inside view that there's so much detail nobody had seen. Brilliant sounds to it. Even down to the car engine sounded different, which we'd never seen before. They had a generic ming when they go along on most racing games. They don't on this. You can actually go up the gears and you can hear a significant change. They must have really worked really hard on it. And you've got all your usual favourites like your Ferraris, your Lamborghinis, your Porsches, and the cars felt different as well. When you're handling them, some felt heavy, some felt lighter, some could take the corners a lot better. Definitely check it out. It's definitely one to buy on the 3DO. Pick up the console, try it out. Really, even now, it holds its date. So that is my number 3. And on to a second one, number 2. And this is a little game called Return Fire. Now Return Fire, I remember picking up and playing with my cousin. We thought we'd have a quick go on it. We didn't hold up much that it would be any good. And 9 hours later, we were still playing it. This is a superb game. Basically, you've got a base, your friend's got a base, you've got to go and destroy it. And you've got various vehicles like tanks and jeeps and really heavy armoured helicopters. But it's the music as well. It's classical music, but you know, when you're in the sort of jeep and you've got the Flight of the Bumblebee when you're driving along and the weapons, it's just really good game. Great to play. Graphically, you know, it's simple, but it just does it really well with the destruction. And that's why it's number 2. There is an expansion pack for it as well that made it just equally even better. I really love this game, but it's not my number 1. So going on to the top game of the 3DO, and that is Road Rash. Sounds funny, you go, oh, Road Rash, that was really good on the Mega Drive. It may have been good on the Mega Drive, but it's not a patch on the 3DO version. The 3DO version was all digitised graphics, the sort of routes were superb, the graphics looked amazing on the bikes and the person on there. As a nice added extra that you probably wouldn't know if you play it, if you leave the controller alone, you actually get 5 or 6 music videos. Beware though, if you're into dance music or anything like that, they're not going to be the ones you want to see. These are stuff from the sort of grunge era. So you've got the music for the game, you've got Therapy, Soundgarden, Paw, and Monster Magnet, that type of groups. Some really good tunes. They just are superb driving tunes for riding the motorbikes. The intros, man. Even when I first saw the intro, I was like, I restarted the console, so I've got to see that again. That's amazing. And it's just a really good game. You're all used to the chains and baseball bats you knock each other off with, but it's just everything sounds so good and looks so good. I could play it for hours and hours on end. It's a superb game, and that's why it's my number 1 on the 3DO. So that is the top 10 for the 3DO. If you haven't played the console before, check it out because it's a really good console. It's not that well known, and Trip Hawkins didn't do a brilliant job on it. It marketing wise and stuff like that, because it was basically he went for the design of it, but he basically pawned it out to any manufacturer who wanted to make the 3DO. Not like now, it's all secrets, you don't want it in my console, that type of thing. Which led to its demise just because it was so expensive. And the games were. Now you can pick one up and the games are really cheap on eBay. And really, you'll have hours of fun. There's some great RPGs, great racing games, great beat 'em ups. I mean, just really good games on there. There's some weird games as well. Plumbers Don't Wear Tights, I think it's called, which is kind of a softcore porn, really. But it's yeah. People think there's only like half a dozen games for it. If you actually check out the 3DO list, type it in on Wikipedia or something, you'll see actually there is a massive bunch, and they're universally compatible. There is no sort of oh, can't play games from the States, can't play games from here. You can play all the States games, and you can play all the English games. And there's some others apart from the 10 I described. There's some really good games. Check out the list. Got a few stinkers, obviously, but then even the stinkers have a kind of a sort of something to them that make you, oh, okay, I'll play it. I mean, one really stinkers in fighting games like like Shadow, which is a really crappy version of a beat 'em up. But because they're digitized characters and it's quite gory, I mean it's not on the scale of Mortal Kombat, but it's gory considering they're digitized characters, you know, blood flies off. It's actually okay to play. So that's my top 10. I'll be doing them on all my retro section consoles. So you got Xbox, PS2, SNES, you know, ColecoVision, Vectrex, the whole top to bottom. So there'll be quite a few videos. But that's my top 10 for EDA. All I have to say is enjoy the games and check out my other videos. I've got an intro video about me. The website will be up shortly, but I'm launching it when I launch it, basically when it's ready. And I've done some reviews of some modern games like Titanfall and Call of Duty. It was a review / review when I did Titanfall because it weren't actually out when I did the video. Obviously it is now, and there is downloadable content. There was just a rumour in the video. Yeah, check them out. I'll be doing some obviously retro reviews, specific games, very shortly. And yeah, so that's me done. As I say, check out my other videos. I'll be back shortly with some more top 10. Happy gaming!